Welcome to A Million and One Things.
Girls, get it together. You have a show to do.
Because it's cool to know stuff. Let's get started. Welcome to our show, A Million and One Things, because it's cool to know stuff. We're sponsored by Quirky Minds Media, your full-service media production company. Go out to quirkymindsmedia.com to find out what we can do for you. My name is Temple Kinyon, and I'm with my awesome co-host, Cynthia, and we are here to do a fun show today.
Yes, we are, Temple. Well, you know, everybody had such a great time with the This and That show that we did. And that was one of your ideas, which was phenomenal. And so today we're going to go and do a number two,
and
a
it's
second
number two.
show. And for all of you out there in listening land, if you've never done a podcast, believe me, technology can drive you crazy.
Yeah.
We actually are here to just get going and just see. Now, neither one of us has really talked about or thought about the answers that we're going to give. This is pretty much ask and answer without any kind of really deep mental thought about it.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know.
And you have to pick one.
Yeah, you do have to pick one, even though maybe neither one of them is your cup of tea, so to speak. Right. We still have to do that.
But I'd pick coffee.
Yeah,
Just
me
kidding.
too.
Just kidding. Okay,
so
here we go.
I'm going to ask Temple, corn or green beans?
Green beans.
Me too. I'm not a big corn fan. If you had to go out like for an evening and it was kind of a cash thing, would you wear a dress or would you wear your jeans?
Jeans.
Me too. Not a dressy person. Do you like walking or riding a bike for exercise?
I would rather ride a bike.
See, I like walking because my knees are kind of bad. So.
Well, I end up walking because, I don't have a bike.
Oh.
But
okay.
If I had one,
anybody out there in listening land, if you want to get Temple a nice Christmas present, she could use a bike.
Email me what bike to get because I miss riding my bike. I haven't had a bike for a few years, so riding a bike would be what I would rather.
Okay. In the morning and it's a cold, blustery day, would you like oatmeal or cream of wheat?
Oatmeal.
Me too. I love oatmeal, especially when you can add some craisins and.
Yeah, I do love cream of wheat though.
Yeah,
so
I do too.
I could eat either one, but I probably eat oatmeal.
Yeah, me as well. Now, when it comes to bacon, everybody loves bacon, they say, but there's several different types. Would you like turkey bacon or the regular pork bacon?
Pork? Whoa.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I do eat turkey bacon, but pork's my favorite.
Yep. Pudding or Jell-O?
Pudding.
Me too. I like pudding.
Yeah.
Although Jell-O is nice when it's a really hot day.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I only like Jell-O, orange Jell-O with mandarin oranges.
Oh.
That's my favorite.
Oh.
And anything beyond that is just an occasional thing. You know what it reminds me of? I'll just be honest here because I know certain people in my life don't listen to this show. I was always told, bring Jell-O to family functions. And it always made me feel like, well, I'm smart enough to make Jell-O, but not smart enough to bring, like, homemade rolls or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
So Jell-O and I kind of have a little history, even though I don't mind it. It's not a go-to thing.
For me, it was always Jell-O. We would have, I don't know where this comes from, so if anybody knows, they can ring in and tell us, but my mom would always make us eat Jell-O before we went to the dentist because that was supposed to help you from bleeding. And I don't understand what that was about, but that was the whole time growing up. You got to have your Jell-O before we go to the dentist.
No kidding.
And then, after you have surgeries, they always want you to have something light, and you're always given Jell-O. So it's always had kind of medical connotations with me.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's funny. My mom used to make Jell-O the old way. You heat it up, boil it and all that. And let it dissolve. And then typically you put it in the fridge and let it set up.
Right.
When we were sick, she would let it get cooled off, and we would drink it.
Yeah.
So isn't that weird?
Yeah, we did the same thing. We were really in a hurry, and oh my gosh, we forgot to make Jell-O, and it's time to go to the dentist. We'd have to drink half a shot of it or something, before we went. So
get your shot of Jell-O.
Yeah.
So I would rather have pudding. Thanks for asking. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you are at your famous little place that you go to get all of your Asian foods, and you're asked white rice or brown rice.
I rice and white rice.
I like the brown. I do. I think white rice, if it's not cooked right, it just turns into this blob, and I'm not a fan of that.
This is true. It has to be cooked right. It has to be fluffy.
Yeah, if it's not fluffy, forget it. So, listening to CDs or attending live concerts, which would you prefer to do?
Well, I do both, so I guess I'd rather see it live if I could.
For me, it really depends on the performers. But I really do like listening to CDs because I can do that whenever I want, and I don't have to go out and fight crowds. And I'm just really not big on big events like that, I guess. So if you're redoing a room in your house and you have a choice of either painting it or wallpapering a quote-unquote feature wall, which would you prefer to do?
Painting.
Me too.
I do not do well wallpapering.
Well, you can get a gallon of paint for a heck of a lot less than you can buy wallpaper for. And if you don't like it, you're not out that much money. And that's what I always think about.
Oh, see, I'm just not smart enough. I'm smart enough to make Jell-O, but apparently not smart enough to wallpaper a wall.
Well, wallpaper is kind of a pain.
I like paint, though.
Yeah. So in your living room, everybody usually has a couch and a love seat and that kind of thing. But then occasionally we have either high back chairs or we have recliners. Which would you prefer to sit in?
This is such a funny question. Recliner.
Yeah, me too.
Gotta get comfy.
Yeah, exactly.
A high back chair to me is just for decoration, or when company comes and they just sit for a little while. But I need a recliner.
Yeah, I always feel like with the high back chairs, I'm in trouble at school or something.
Whack your hand with a ruler.
Yeah, exactly.
Sit in the high back chair.
Right. So barbecuing, a lot of people do that, especially out where we live because we have so much warm weather out here. You can do that with propane gas or you can do that with charcoal. Which do you prefer to cook on?
Well, we use propane, but if I had my choice, for some reason I like it cooked. The taste is better with charcoal, but we use propane.
I like the propane because, you can go out there, turn it on. It's kind of like the gas on your stove. But I do like the flavor that charcoal gives.
Yeah.
And that's great when you've got the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So in your home, do you prefer live plants or silk plants?
Well, prefer is the key word, live.
Yeah, me too.
Now, whether I have any live plants is the question, and I will leave that up to the universe to answer someday.
Okay, sounds good. I like live plants too, and quite frankly, I would love my house to be a jungle full of live plants and all kinds of stones, the quartz and the crystals and all of that, because to me, that's the beauty. The only other thing that I have would be, really special paintings by special people, but that's about it. But yeah, live plants. I always hated it when you would go into an office or someplace like that, and of course they didn't have time to mess with them, but you'd see these silk plants with 14 inches of dust on them. It was just like, yuck.
Yeah.
So not a fan of that.
No.
Pajamas or night shirts?
I guess a night shirt. I just wear a t-shirt and shorts, really. So is that considered pajamas?
I don't know. I always
they
thought
don't match.
No, I always thought pajamas were like the pants and the long sleeve.
Oh yeah, no. I gotta have shorts and a short sleeve t-shirt.
Yeah, and even with the night shirts, they got to be short. Because have you ever worn this long gown and you get tangled up in it? Oh my gosh, you feel like your legs are being just strangled or something.
It's not pretty.
No, it's not. And I start panicking. And off go the covers. End up rolling out of bed on the floor, trying to get all untangled. Oh, it's horrible. I'm sure it would be a really great skit for somebody. So, but So, drinking water with or without ice?
Without, probably.
Yeah, me too. They've actually proven that if you're really, really hot and you drink, room temperature water, it's actually better for you because then your body doesn't have to cool it down. And you actually do get cooler quicker by just drinking tepid water.
Fascinating. Because it's cool to know stuff.
That's right. Do you like peanut butter or almond butter?
Peanut butter.
Yeah, I'm an almond butter fan, but there is something cool about peanut butter. If you get the hiccups and you take a teaspoon of peanut butter, it stops the hiccups.
It's because it gums up your esophagus, I bet you.
Yep, I think so.
Good to know.
Yep. Travel by plane or ship?
Plane.
Yeah, me too. Although I do want to go out on a sailing ship.
Yeah.
With, with no sound of engines or anything. That would be phenomenal. Cool white or warm white tree lights.
Oh, I love the warm white.
Yeah, because it looks like fire, glittering fire.
Like candles.
Yep. Black or red licorice?
Oh, well, that's the age-old question.
Yeah.
I guess red, but my dad only, black licorice is his thing. So we ate a lot of black licorice when I was a kid. So I would say both, unless that's against the rules.
No, I think we're good there. I like them both, actually. My favorite is black, but I'm not real thrilled with how it, turns your teeth and everything else that lovely color. Yeah. But, that's the way it goes. Hard or soft caramels?
Soft.
Me too. Roller coasters or carousels?
Roller coasters? Hello?
I like carousels.
Well, I'm a little old, so carousels are probably more my speed in reality, but I love roller coasters. The roller coaster at New York. That'll make you put your priorities in order real quick.
Yeah. It's really funny because my youngest stepdaughter, she went on that with my husband, and she got off, and she was about 10 years old, and she was crying her eyes out. No. She was so scared. And the next words out of her mouth was, "Can we do it again?"
Yeah.
It's
wild. It is really wild.
She did love it, but she was, scared out of her wits.
Yeah.
But,
I haven't been on one for a while. So.
Yeah. I like the carousels because I just love the artwork, especially the old carousels where the horses and everything were made out of wood. Yeah. They actually have a place in New York where you can go and learn how to make carousel horses, which is kind of cool.
Maybe we need to go on the road.
Yeah, Dan and I went there and visited this place because I've always loved carousels, and so it was kind of cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can go and they teach you how to do it, and it's kind of cool. Yeah. White bread or wheat bread?
White.
Wheat. Angel hair or spaghetti noodles?
Angel hair.
Me too. I love that. Finishing furniture or quilting?
Oh, man. I like doing both. I'm not very good at quilting, though, so I guess finishing furniture if I had to have a good finished product.
Yeah, I love finishing furniture. It's just a lot of fun, and it's really great whenever you go and you get something from like a yard sale, and it's covered with 14 layers of paint, and then you strip it down and you find out it's oak and, those kinds of things, especially if it's dovetailed and all of that. Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Open shelving or closed cabinets?
Closed. Even though I keep things organized, I still feel that closed. Unless it's like my china hutch, then you can see into it, but it's still closed with glass.
Right.
So closed.
I like the open shelving if it's not right next to the stove because of the grease and all the stuff that, can spray up. But I do like the open shelving. And there was one thing they talked about, how everybody has so much stuff. And that years ago, when you would look in all these old log cabins and stuff like that, they just had shelves and there was just on there what they needed. So that was kind of a cool thing. I mean, it really does keep you from collecting too much if they're all open.
Yeah, it would. It would me.
Yeah. Well, I think it's about time for our break. You want to talk about anything?
Yeah, let's just let everybody know about a wonderful program that Quirky Minds Media and James Kelly hosts twice a year. Mm-hmm. It's 1 Million Books in 100 Days, and you can go out to the website 1millionbooksin100days.com. Mm-hmm. And it is a wonderful program that supports self-published authors. There are some authors that have more than one book out there, and there's a lot of genres to choose from. And the cool thing about it is not only are we helping self-published authors get their work out there, but for every book that is sold, $1 goes to charity. And our charity, this campaign, is 3 Square in Las Vegas. So if people want to read and have that book in their hand and just enjoy any genre you ever could think of, from children's books all the way up to action, adventure, nonfiction, fiction, self-help, all of it is out there. This is the way to go because you can help not just the self-published author, but the charity too.
Yeah, and James has been so kind about this because, yes, we do have the 2 campaigns per year, one in the spring and fall, but on top of that, the website is up year-round. So no matter when a book is bought, the money still goes right to charity, which is really a phenomenal thing. We don't have just authors from the Las Vegas area. We have authors from across the country. And it's a lot of fun to actually talk to these people and see their passion and their commitment to their craft because it is a lot of work. And even though we all say, well, writing the book was a difficult time, the promotion is number one. And it is really, really hard to get out there and, because people have to be invested in you before they're going to want to buy your product on any kind of product.
Sure. And it is hard to be one of millions.
Exactly. And this one is definitely, the authors are checked out for what they are putting out there. The books are all high quality. They're all checked out so that we don't have 13 books on one genre, like Temple said. And I just can't say enough about it. It's a really great program. And also, we actually, as indie authors, which Temple and I are both on it, we actually get a larger percentage as far as a royalty than we would get from most other distribution outlets, which is really cool, too.
So if you want to buy a book, go out to 1millionbooks in100days.com and buy them that way.
Yes, definitely.
All right. So you got to pick one or the other.
Okay.
Or both, I guess. We're letting that slide a little.
Yeah, just a bit.
But you got to pick one at least.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather text or make a phone call?
Definitely phone call. I think you lose a lot in text. You don't get the inflection of the voice. You don't, because seriously, you can say one of the kindest things in the world and make it sound really nasty. So I really like being able to hear what people are really feeling.
Well, isn't that what emojis are for?
Yeah, well, some emojis aren't designed quite yet for my feelings.
I think texting is good because it's quick. But when I really do want to communicate with someone, phone call's good.
Well, one of my people that I know said, well, I text because I don't want to waste the time on that person. And I thought, you know what? I wonder how many people really feel that way. I thought that was kind of like, okay, well, if I get a text from her, I'm going to know that she doesn't want to waste her time with me.
Yeah,
so,
but we all have these wonderful people in our lives that we love that you literally have to block out time if you call them.
Oh, definitely.
Like
5 minutes.
It's not going to be a 5-minute call. Whereas if you did a text and just asked them a question, it was, it takes a minute or two back and forth. So each has its purpose. I think.
There's benefits of both for sure. Because we've done the same thing. Well, we're going to talk about 5 minutes, and an hour later, we're still on the phone. So
we always have so much to talk about.
Right.
All right. I chose this or that. This or that.
this or that?
Yeah. Because I knew this was going to stump you. Would you rather read or write?
Oh, definitely write. With
really?
Can you imagine that as being an author? Imagine that. No, actually, reading for me is really difficult because I do have vision issues. And by the time I get done reading and taking care of bills and the stuff that I have to do, I'm like spent. So, because I can just type away on my computer, and if, there's 14 mistakes, I can take care of it later. Sure. And I can enlarge it so I can actually read it.
Okay, that's fair. Maybe I didn't stump you then.
No, you didn't stump
I'd rather write too.
Yes.
I do enjoy reading, let's face it, but I'd rather write if I had to choose.
Yep.
All right, on the toilet paper issue, is it over or under?
Over.
Atta girl.
Yeah.
There is science behind that. For those people out there who are tissue people, paper makers, there definitely is a science to it.
Really?
Yes, there is. And if it goes over, then how people usually consume the product.
Yeah.
The softer side ends up coming into contact with you if you put it over. Now people are like, what? But it's the science. There's science behind it.
Yeah, and I would imagine how it's actually developed and made, and then once it's rolled onto the roll, you're not trying to take it off backwards, basically.
Right.
Yeah, that's
cool. And you know how I know this?
I don't know. Maybe because of somebody that you love dearly?
Happen to be married to somebody who makes toilet paper. Yeah.
There you go.
So all of you people who are unders, you go right ahead and march to the beat of your own drum. But
you're wrong.
Well, then. Okay, on that note, would you rather, this is funny, would you rather worry about honesty or a person's feelings?
Oh, well, there's a real gray area for sure. I want to be honest with a person, but I think that you can be honest without being brutal. I think,
there you go.
And I've had friends that come in and they're wearing something and it's like, well, what do you think? And the color is just horrible on them. And you don't want to say you look like you just threw up because you're green, but you've got to find a diplomatic way of saying that. And usually then I will go to the cut of it. wow, the cut is really good on you, or that design really accentuates your figure, and I'll leave the color out of it. I'm still being honest.
Feelings come first, though. That
for
person's
me,
feelings.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely that, because I think you can always talk about other things that are involved.
Okay. I'm the same. Person's feelings come.
Yeah.
And you can weave in the honesty, too.
Yeah.
Brutal is the key word right
Uh-huh.
here. All right, Cynthia, would you rather have soup or sandwich?
That depends on how cold out it is. I really do like soup because I'm not really big on carbs, and sandwiches always involve bread.
I'm a sandwich girl. Although my mom makes really good soup. So if it's mom's soup, that's it. If it's not mom's soup, then probably a sandwich. So would you rather be able to talk with all animals or know all foreign languages?
Animals.
Yeah, me too.
Animals.
Me too. That'd be fun.
I mean, when you're realistic in this world, most of the people that we meet in our area, we don't have a whole lot of foreign languages. I mean, we have Spanish, we have English, and once in a while you'll have, Armenian or something like that. But I mean, I'd like to know what a dog was thinking, a cat was thinking, a bird was thinking. That'd be awesome to me.
Yeah. I was told one time that maybe not all Americans or English-speaking people, I was very narrow-minded to not know more than one language. I'm like, well, I'm not a world traveler at this point in my life, and if I was, then I'd learn the language, right? Or I'd learn enough to be able to get around. And they said, well, the English-speaking people in the United States tend to think that everyone will just accommodate them. And I'm like, well, that's not what I think. I think I'm just not, I don't know if my brain is wired to learn. I've never tried to learn another language. I know some phrases in a few languages to get me through. If someone comes in, like when I worked at Starbucks, I kind of needed to learn a few things to talk to them and get their orders correct. But yeah, I'd rather know what my dog was wanting to tell me.
Yeah, well, the other side of it too, I mean, if you're not in contact with somebody that is speaking that language that you've learned, it kind of seems like a waste. And then somebody said, well, when you guys travel, and you go to these different places, you don't know the language. And my comment back to them is always the same. I'm going to be there for 2 weeks. It's going to take me a minimum of a year to learn so that I can use that language for 2 weeks. I'm sorry, but I have a busy life. And unless it's something that I'm going to use at least weekly, to me, it's not worth my effort.
It'd be good to know them, but I'd rather know what my animals were saying,
what
my dog was saying.
Exactly.
Okay, we are not a political show. This is a little side comment to this next one. Would you rather meet George Washington or the current president?
I'd like to meet George Washington because I think it would be really interesting to really find out his true feelings on this country at its infancy and what his hopes and dreams were for it. Because, I mean, things are crazy right now, and it's no offense to anybody. It's just that is what it is. But I think that a lot of what people forget nowadays is maybe what this country was based on, and we need to go back and visit that.
I agree 100%. That would be a great person to meet.
Yep.
Batman or Spider-Man?
Well, my husband's a big Spider-Man fan. He loves Spider-Man, but I always loved Batman, and I think that comes from childhood because when I was growing up, there was the Batman series on, and we lived in Colorado at the time, so we had a lot of tunnels. And so every time we would go drive through a tunnel, my sister and I would roll down the windows and go, "Donna, Batman!" It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, my gosh. I'd rather, Batman for me, too. Would you rather be stuck on a broken ski lift or in a broken elevator?
Oh, good God. Those are both horrific.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say elevator because on a ski lift, maybe I wouldn't have to worry about freezing my buns off.
That's actually a good point. I would feel very claustrophobic in an elevator, but I'd be frightened if I was up high.
Yeah.
Okay. Explore space or the ocean?
The ocean.
Now, see, I'm a space girl.
Well, I just think it's really sad that we know more about space than we do about our own planet. That's why I say that.
Oh, you don't have to hit to hurt.
Sorry.
Just kidding. Okay, maybe I would want to go in the ocean. If I did, I just always am worried about, like, you go down in the little cruiser thing,
Yeah, little
and then, like, gets
submarine.
A leak, and, that's the end. Of course, in space, you would be toast, too. So
yeah, you'd freeze to death out there. So.
All right. I'm going to stay with space. You go do the ocean, and we'll
Okay.
meet back in the middle.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Would you rather hear good news first or the bad news first, if there's both?
That's a really tough one. I don't know. I kind of go with the kiss, kick, kiss method, which is good, bad, good. So I would say good first.
Oh, see, I want bad first, because then it softens it. The good news would soften it. I always ask for the bad news first.
Really?
Yep. But that's me.
Yeah. I would want the good news first.
Would you rather show up late all the time or way too early all the time?
I'm always a way too early person. I can't stand arriving someplace late. If I'm going to be over 20 minutes late, I just won't go.
Yeah, I have a hard time being late too,
Yeah.
which is good because we're both the same way.
Yeah.
Would you rather be an opera star or a gourmet chef?
Well, with the voice I have, it's the chef all the way.
No, but if you could be an opera star.
I'm not big on crowds, so I'm back to chef.
Yeah, me too. I'd rather cook a great meal. Would you take a get out of jail for free card one time or a key that opens any door in the world?
I think I'd go with the key because I don't plan on doing anything to get me into jail. And, if you had one key, you know how simple our lives would be? I look at my key ring and I go, oh, my Lord. I mean, for God's sakes, we have 4 keys for this office alone.
Now, see, I take it that you get this key and you pick any door in the world and it'll open at one time. That's how I read that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, I get your interpretation, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
having one key on your key ring would be totally awesome.
Yeah, because you watch the old-time movies and they didn't even drive. They had a quote-unquote latch key. That's all they had. And
Right.
that was for their where they lived.
Yeah.
Life was a lot simpler then.
Yeah, you could pick locks, too. See, I'm going to take the get out of jail for free card.
No.
I'm going to go do something really naughty. Like, I'm not going to kill anybody or anything like that. I'm not going to hurt anybody. But, I mean, come on. If you could drive as fast as you wanted to down a long, straight stretch of highway or freeway and not get in trouble.
Yeah, well, I almost did that one time and almost did get in trouble. But, I think if I could, just take $1 million from a drug dealer, because they're evil.
Yeah, there you go. Something
And then,
like that.
that would be
Then
cool.
help give it to your, charity.
Yeah,
Go
split
buy
it
some
out.
new clothes that look good on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So which one is it?
I still want the key.
Okay, I still want to get out of jail. Okay, green lights always, like you always have green lights, or for the rest of your life, or never having to stand in a line again.
I would go with the green lights because I don't mind standing in line because sometimes you meet some really cool people.
Right. I'm a green light girl too. Because I get more frustrated driving than I do standing in a line. So, would you rather have a sailboat as your home or an RV as your home for the rest of your life?
We've actually talked about tiny homes and all those kinds of things, and I think I'd go with the RV.
Yeah, I don't know what one I would do. I wrote that one down and never did decide it. So, I guess the RV. But a sailboat would be fun. Would you rather have an itchy shirt every day of your life, wearing an itchy shirt every day of your life, or use 1-ply toilet paper?
I'd use the toilet paper because the itchy stuff I can't handle. I'm going through menopause, and I get the itchy scratchies enough as it is. So,
well, you can always use more toilet paper too, right?
Yeah,
you can get more off the roll,
exactly.
especially if it's hanging over the top the right way.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather have control of fire or water? Like in the cartoons when we were little, and they could control the water, or they could control fire.
Probably fire.
Yeah, me too. Because I would make sure that it didn't burn down forests and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But then I would always have access to a handy little campfire wherever
There you
I
go.
was. See?
Yep. Be able to stay warm and help people.
Exactly. See?
Yep.
Would you rather be able to read minds or teleport yourself anywhere?
I would want to teleport because I truly think that, excuse me, as we all say, we have inside words and outside words. And no matter who you're with or what relationship you're in, somebody's going to do something that's just going to hit you the wrong way because you've had a crappy day or whatever. And I really wouldn't want to know what people think 100% because first of all, I wouldn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and I don't want mine hurt either.
Yep, I'd be teleporting all over the place.
Me too.
Not caring what people were thinking, not knowing.
Yeah, I would be back in Australia.
Would you rather have a paper cut or stuff stuck in your teeth?
Mm-hmm. Paper cut.
Me too. Would you rather clean bathrooms or do dishes?
Dishes.
Me too. would you rather be, like, if you, like, woke up and you were all of a sudden in an unknown place in the desert, or would you rather be in an unknown place in a boat in the middle of the ocean?
Desert.
Yeah, me too. The ocean would scare me.
Yeah, because you never know storms and everything else. And I mean, you know, in the desert, you can figure it out. You just watch the sun and figure out which way to go.
Yeah.
But on the ocean, it may be miles before you can get anywhere.
Yep, that's exactly how I thought that one through too.
Yep.
Would you rather be transported 500 years into the future or 500 years into the past?
I don't know. I really like indoor plumbing, so 500 years ago is kind of a negative for me. But transporting 500 years into the future, I think I'd have to go with that because I would pray that we were really in a good spot for the whole world.
Yep, me too. Let's be hopeful.
Yep.
All right, last one. Would you rather have a rewind button for your life or a pause button?
I think the pause button because, you know, they always say when you get stressed, you should count to 10. And I just like to be able to freeze things before my mouth overrides my you know what. That would be me. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, probably. Even though if I could hit the rewind button and know then what I know now, that would be kind of fun. Especially if when, you know, your younger years. But yeah, a pause button probably would be more useful for me.
Well, I don't want to relive anything I've ever gone through, ever. I just feel like, you know, been there, done that. So
yeah, that's true. All right, so we'll both hit pause. But we won't hit pause right now.
Nope.
Because we're going to end our show.
That's right.
Thanks for sticking with us, listeners.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys. And we do want to eventually do a show about the emails that we receive. So please, if you have anything that you want to talk about or any shows that you would like for us to explore or can answer any of the questions that we've posed to you guys over the last shows, please go and check us out at amillionandonethingshow@gmail.com. And as far as our radio podcasts and all of that, you can go to amillionandonethings.com and we have a player there and everybody can, you know, just click on what they want to hear because we do title our show so you will know what you're going to be listening to, which is really cool. So again, as Temple and I always say, 1,000,001 things because it's cool to know stuff. Bye for now. Join us next time when we come up with something new.
After all, there's always 1,000,001 things to talk about.